Well, we will make 500 shows and we will make 500 more. Hi, everybody. I'm Kelly at Kelly on social media, and welcome to Bog Panda. Tonight is our 500th show, and we're going to kind of count down some of our favorite moments during the work in the Bogosphere. So, joining me as always is.
Before I even introduce myself, got a little something for the cucks.
Okay, CZ. There you go.
It's a Baja Blast. It's delicious. I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment. You know what? Leave 500 comments because this is our 500th episode of the trilogy. We started 500 episodes ago. That's right. I didn't go back and look and see how long this show is on. You math, not me. But you guys are going to feel even better if you do all of this wearing one of the t-shirts from our merch store. And in exchange, we're going to let you in on a little secret. We have the world's shortest podcast, Hard No. It's available right here with your subscription, free with your subscription, but it's even better if you already bought one of our t-shirts.
And Taylor Swift would probably listen to it if she knew it existed. Maybe. So,
I think she already listens.
yeah, could be on that. So for we talked about some different ideas on what to do to kind of celebrate show 501. Any of you that have seen all 500, thank you. Awesome, great. Can't imagine that counts really high there. But if you've been with us for any of our shows, thank you for watching. We really enjoy doing this, and it's been fun. So we kind of thought for to celebrate 500, we'd go back and kind of each pick out like our top three favorite episodes over the last 499 shows. A little tip for those viewing at home: one host might work harder for you in preparation and getting ready for it, and a little tip for that might be if that host is able to provide the show number for you, so you could easily find it. That might be the host that prepared a little bit more, but we'll see. Who knows? So, with that,
That
how
host might have show numbers, but I'm giving you more than just the tip.
we'll see. We'll see about that. Would you like to start or would you like me to start, sir?
You know what? Why don't you start, sir? Because I am very curious and I wanted to get your kind of quick reaction before we start. Do you think there'll be any crossover in these choices?
Um, Maybe maybe my number one. That one
Okay.
might be crossover, but I don't think the other two. Super confident. Which I'll start with my third of my top three favorite, and it's show. There you go, folks. It's show number 346. Bog Panda Bog Panda 346. And it was a how-to video. It was the setting up the Utilimark aim track light gun for the At Games Legends. Why this is one of my favorites is that it's a pretty steadily viewed video constantly after we put it out. Not giant numbers, but steady. So it's exciting to me to see that we put some content out that people find useful and can kind of help them get going. And it's really cool to hook a light gun up, but it's sometimes a little tricky in the at game land. And so to be able to kind of put something together with straightforward and gets viewed pretty consistently and helps people out. I made my list as number three.
Very nice. Very nice. I hadn't really thought about the order of mine. So I don't want to put one ahead of another. There's one I'm going to save for last just because I think it's the most fun for me. But the one I'll mention first was our live watch along for Staged Killer.
Good choice. Really good choice.
Yeah, so that was a really cool thing. And it was so for anyone who doesn't know, Kelly and I have worked together for 10 years officially. 10 years. We don't know how to use calendars. All right. We're not those kind of people, but we've officially worked together for 10 years. We started working together on a radio show. And the thing that was interesting about it is we would record live through Google Hangouts, which is a thing that doesn't exist anymore. And a group of our online friends, all called the Snark Alex, part of this kind of Twitter uh, social group, I guess you would call it, of friends and bad movie allies that we had on Twitter, would interact with us live while we were recording that. And what was interesting about that is it was a radio show. So the vast majority of the audience didn't watch this live recording. They heard it on the radio when it would play on the radio throughout the following week. So it was kind of this interesting way to interact with people in real time, get real feedback from people and bounce off of people in a kind of, really loose environment, but then still put out this final, finished product afterwards. Whereas now, going straight through YouTube and everything and doing podcasts and all that kind of stuff, you do lose a little bit of that live element to it. I prefer this to the radio thing, to be honest, because I feel like the schedule is not as crazy and hectic and there's not as many things to balance. But you do lose that live element a little bit. So when we did the Staged Killer thing, and we've done a couple of, watch along things, but with Staged Killer, I feel like we got a lot of those Snark Alley people back. So I think that felt as close as you're going to get to an authentic Snark Alec experience. Plus, that's when we met Nikki Bilderback, who then played my wife when I was inaugurated for a day on 420 of 2020 as mayor of Hell, Michigan. So it was a really cool thing. And we got to work with Gerald, who we love working with. So just a really fun episode.
Yeah, I mean, it was always the kind of live tweets and things we did around bad movies back in that time frame, which is really the genesis of the radio show was that interaction and that kind of coming carrying forward from there. But the biggest plus on it was for a lot of these sci-fi type of movies, cast members would be active on Twitter the night that the show was live on Sci-Fi, and so that's how we met Allison Victoria Wolf and Christina Bach and some other folks that have been on the show, and they've all been great. Nikki's an all-time favorite though. She can mix it up with you really good. She's funny. She picks on Gerald Webb, which is always necessary. So Nikki was awesome. So that's an excellent choice.
Kelly, I was too focused on your handsome face to even notice the pictures of me behind you.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm going to go back. My number two goes back way back to when we were known as Squat Cobbler, not Bog Panda. So this is Squat Cobbler. This is post trilogy. So we did our first three shows thinking that was all we were going to do, and here we are at 500. But that's okay. But show 28 was we did track by track reviews of all of Alice Cooper's albums, and we continue to do that as they come out. But 28 was near and dear to my heart because that was, I bet you're thinking it's Billion Dollar Babies. It's not. It's Special Forces. Special Forces is this little gem of a movie during his kind of lost period where he had the Blush the Fashion, Special Forces, Zipper Catches Skin, and I think Dada kind of falls at the tail end of that period of time. That Alice doesn't remember a whole lot about recording any of those. But I've always been a big Special Forces fan. I got to see the Special Forces tour. It wasn't Alice's greatest look from a stage presence standpoint, but it was a heck of a show. It's kind of, as we mentioned in the show, and one of the reasons it's my favorite, it's, Alice Cooper's paramilitary Coke Army. And so it actually may have come on the Muscle of Love review, but because I think the full quote is the Pointer Sisters have no place in Alice Cooper's paramilitary Coke Army. But anyway, Special Forces is a great album, and if you haven't checked it out, you should. It's a super fun album, and I just love talking about it. And so going back through looking at all the episodes, that's always been one of my favorites.
I suspected that you might do an Alice Cooper review as one of your favorites, and I thought it was going to be Billion Dollar Babies. So I was like, I should make one of mine just to make it my number one choice, just so that we could have this debate again. But in Special Forces, I can't disagree with you on that. We all know what the best Alice Cooper album is. So anyway, my next choice, it's Love It to Death. My next choice is, sticking with, Kelly makes them about, views and his personal experiences and things. I made my choices largely about the community that we're building around us and the other people who lift us up and give us the opportunity to do this for you. And I love reaching out to the fans and having them kind of interact with us and interact with the show. And as you guys may or may not know, numerous times now, Kelly's fans in particular have interacted with us and actually even provided content for us. And the first time we did this, I wasn't sure how it would work out. So I put it out there like, hey, Kelly's birthday is coming up. We're living in a really divided time in this country. I'd like to do something, not necessarily just for his birthday, but just something nice. Like, let him know that this show brings people together. And I'm sure he would love to hear from some of his fans. And obviously, we got a huge, huge influx of responses. So much so that in future installments of this, I even started to have to put multiple clips together just because there's just so much that comes in, and obviously we don't have time to look at it all, but I want Kelly to really understand the impact that he's making on people. But for that first one, I got a really special video from a special fan, and it was great. I told Kelly that this had happened, but he didn't know what the video was going to be, and I really just wanted to get his live honest reaction to it, and that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, and I've mentioned it on previous shows when Mike is insistent to say, okay, you need to watch it. I want to get your live reaction, but we need to make sure none of the video is showing on the video and none of the audio is going. And it's really important you not do that. When Mike is saying that, something special is going to happen. And it did.
It did. It was a young lady who was expressing her appreciation for Kelly and what he does for all of us.
Yeah, that's what it was. Well, okay, so Dr. Mother Teresa over there about, oh, I just do things for the people, and I go through, apparently was napping during my first recommendation or my first favorite, which was a video we have that has proved useful to people in setting things up. So there, but in the same spirit of uh, people helping us out and the people we've had a chance to meet and interact with. And Nikki Bilderback makes her second appearance on our favorite show because the 2021 Halloween special, which featured Dave LaGreca, Christina Bach, Nikki Bilderback, and Rebecca Kennedy, I think that was our first really kind of dedicated Halloween show. We did something like that. And we asked all these people who have been nice enough to give us some of their time to do it. We said, we get pressed our luck and said, yeah, but wear a costume. and that worked out well. We had Nikki as a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, so thumbs up there. Christina is a big Halloween fan, so she's always kind of bringing something there. And then the magic of Dave LaGreca in a think it was a raccoon ish. Says he had, oh crap, I need to get a costume. So his wife just picked something up at the dollar store, and it was hilarious. And Dave was a guy that we ended up meeting because he liked our Alice Cooper reviews, reached out to just kind of say, hey, you guys are doing a good job. I appreciate it. And then we're piecing together, hey, well, this is Dave McGregor from the Busted Open show on Sirius Radio. And he was good enough to come on and join us and talk about rankings. And he's just a super guy. But I mean, and Rebecca Kennedy, great fan of the show, great friend of the show. She's done a ton of things. Nikki, we've already mentioned, is fantastic. Christina Bach, also great. So just a chance to do this to help people joining to help me cope with who I have to work with. Awesome, from that kind of thing. But it's just we've met some really cool people, and they've all just been great. So my top one, that was show 240, by the way, was the Halloween 2021.
Very nice. So for my top one, I do have to be a little bit selfish here, and it's probably the one that I've had the
It's on
most.
brand.
What'd you say?
So that's on brand.
Kelly, I wouldn't say it was on brand. If it was, I would just be shamelessly plugging things. You guys should go listen to the Rust Belt right now on YouTube. But I wouldn't do that here. Um, it would be the Scooby-Doo episode. That was one where it was very important to me going into it that I kept the episode clean, that there was nothing in there that could get the video taken down or some sort of strikes against Kelly or his channel. So I wanted to keep it clean, but I wanted it to be something where Kelly was going to have to white knuckle it through it, not really knowing if I was going to keep it clean or go way off the deep end as I could have given the subject matter. So I liked the dynamic of you having no idea where that was going to go.
I pretty much knew where it was going pretty quick. It I figured it out pretty quick in the process because you thought you were being pretty smooth on how you were rolling it out. But it was just like, oh crap, this is I know what this is. But yeah, it was um, yeah. So two of your top favorite three are ones where I'm going through agony, and you're watching it and enjoying it. So that's nice. That pretty much tells you everything you need to know about this show. So since we said it in the intro, we got to do it. We've done 500. We're going to need to do 500 more. It's like the Proclaimers. Anything you're thinking for the next 500? Any topic you want to make sure we work in over the
There's a
next?
few.
I bet. Most of them involve me cringing, I assume. So
I mean, a couple might. You never know, though.
yeah, pretty good. I know. Well, if you have been a regular viewer of Bug Panda and there's a particular episode you were a fan of, let us know in the comments. We'd appreciate that. You know, you can, because you'll be looking to know it, you could provide the episode number like people who care do. And so we could do some of that. But we would like to hear from you if there was a particular episode, like kind of stuff you'd like to see from us. We've done a variety of things. We're going to obviously keep talking retro gaming quite a bit. As Alice does stuff, we'll be talking Alice Cooper, of course, all the time. Something we fell away from that we likely will come back to is something we call Prisoner Exchange, where Mike and I would kind of offer up an album of something that the other person probably wasn't familiar with that we thought they might like, or at least open them up to some new experiences. And so we've done a lot of that. So that's likely something that'll kind of come back, but also like to hear from you. We've done a variety of things. Is there any particular kind of content you folks like to hear from us? That'd be great to hear. Any final thoughts as we wrap up show 500, Mike?
No, I'm just looking forward to the next 500. I think the show keeps getting better because we're awesome and we just get better the more that we do this. And you guys are going to want to make sure you're subscribing and leaving as many comments as possible so that we can caress that algorithm.
Yep. Yeah, and watch any video twice or three times. Just do us a solid. So Booked in with solids. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bug Panda.